Coming up this morning on Daybreak, we take a look at what efforts are being made to get young people to the polls.
And a law from 1851 is being called into play by Ripley Entertainment. We'll explain what it could mean.
Plus, Mike Pompeo is still in Turkey as the investigation into that missing journalist continues. We'll have these stories and more this morning here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us. It is Wednesday, October 17th. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. As you guys get moving out there, we're inching closer to that weekend for, the weekend's nice, but also that warmer weather.
Warmer weather, Bacon Fest, any of your fall festivities you have going on, but Elisa has been promising it will get better.
Certainly. We'll check in with her right now for the forecast. First, Elisa, how are you doing this morning?
Good. It's only Wednesday, but the weekend is going to be beautiful, especially after the dreary weekend we just came out of. This coming weekend is going to be really nice. It's 41 degrees in Branson this morning. We've got some calm winds out there and just a couple of clouds. Temperatures are a little bit warmer now than they were yesterday, so we're not looking at any frost advisories or freeze warnings this morning because these temperatures are above freezing. It's 38 degrees in Springfield right now, 44 in Rolla, 35 in Lake of the Ozarks, and 41 in Branson. So still chilly, still jackets, but not looking at frost or freeze potential. Winds are calm, so the wind chills aren't bad either. Wind chills are about where the temperatures are at in the upper 30s and lower 40s. So a cold start again. We'll have dry conditions on the roads this afternoon. Green light, nothing to worry about on the roads. Bundle up again this morning, kids. Only 39 degrees at the bus stop. Then we'll have temperatures really nice by dismissal. 64 with sunshine. It will be warmer. Another round of frost advisories overnight tonight into tomorrow up to the north and east of Springfield. Details on that, plus a rain forecast and a look at your weekend. We'll do that in 10 minutes.
Happening today, Governor Mike Parson is campaigning in support of a proposed 10-cent gas tax increase that's on the November 6th ballot. Parson is touring the state this week and will be speaking today at a rally in support of Prop D at Prime Trucking in North Springfield. That will happen around 8 a.m. this morning, and if approved, the tax increase would pay for road and bridge repairs and fund the highway patrol. The tax would be implemented over a 4-year period. In a statement, the governor has said the state's infrastructure needs are long overdue and that action must be taken before a tragedy occurs, reinforcing his support for the measure.
I don't feel like we can keep putting this off and putting it off and expect Missouri to move forward. And I think if you want to move Missouri forward and you want to do something with our highway systems, no matter where you live in this state, it's important.
Supporters of the tax increase say it would raise more than $400 million for road construction and maintenance and also bring in another $1 billion in federal matching funds.
In our election coverage right now, young folks don't vote as much as their older counterparts. In fact, the average age of voters in Springfield is 68. So ad campaigns have begun targeting younger generations. Patrick Ponder is a Drury University Young Democrat, and Chandler Haynes, a college Republican at OTC. Both say feeling like your vote doesn't count can be a factor for lower voting numbers among younger citizens, but focusing on local and state elections can change that.
These midterm elections that are coming up, these elections for our senators and our district representatives, they are direct elections, so each vote does count.
But if we get people to look inward, look at their communities, like Christian County or Ozark specifically, that's a level where one person can actually make a change, where 1 vote, 2 votes, 10 votes, 20 votes, 100 votes literally can affect the success and failure of a campaign.
In an effort to push voters out to the polls coming up on November 6th, Uber and Lyft will both offer free rides to the polls for voters.
We need to bring you some new information this morning in the continuing legal battle between families of victims who died in the sunken duck boat accident on Table Rock Lake over the summer and the companies who operated the vehicle. CNN is now reporting Ripley Entertainment is invoking a law from 1851 to avoid responsibility in the accident. Federal court documents show the company asked a federal court to consolidate civil action against them and to rule they have little or no liability. Ripley says it plans on making settlements to families and survivors. Now, CNN also reached out to Tia Coleman, who lost 9 family members in the accident. She says the filing is hurtful and insensitive. Coleman's lawyer says there have been no settlement offers and predicts the judge will dismiss that request.
Making news now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in Turkey, where officials claim to have evidence of missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who was murdered inside the Saudi consulate there.
Last night, President Trump criticized global condemnation of Saudi Arabia and warned of a rush to judgment. Laura Podesta has this story from New York.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Turkey this morning, where he met with Turkish leaders to discuss the disappearance of U.S. resident Jamal Khashoggi. Turkish officials claim to have proof that Saudi Arabia used a 15-member hit squad to kill the journalist inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Today's visit comes hours after Pompeo's meeting with the Saudi king and crown prince.
Told me they were going to conduct a thorough, complete, transparent investigation.
Pompeo said the Saudis promised no one would be spared in their probe, including members of the royal family. Khashoggi, who wrote critically about the Saudis for the Washington Post, vanished after entering the Saudi consulate on October 2nd. A high-ranking Turkish official said a search of the building turned up evidence Khashoggi was killed there. But President Trump is criticizing condemnation of Saudi Arabia, comparing it to sexual assault allegations leveled against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, telling the Associated Press, quote, "Here we go again with 'you're guilty until proven innocent.'" Last night, Mr. Trump spoke to Fox Business News.
And it depends whether or not the king or the crown prince knew about it, in my opinion. Number one, what happened, but whether or not they knew about it. If they knew about it, that would be bad.
CBS News has learned the Saudis are preparing a plan where they will say Khashoggi's death was the result of an interrogation gone wrong. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The Washington Post published the passports of 7 men that say they were part of the Saudi team that flew to Istanbul to confront Khashoggi. The New York Times reports at least one of the men is a frequent companion of the crown prince.
Still ahead for you this morning on Daybreak, Verizon is apologizing for its slow response to restore service in Florida.
Plus, no slowdown to the binging of Netflix. We'll explain in your Money Watch up next.
From KOLR 10 Ozarks First.